bloodborne problems is that his immune system seems to be different than all my other children. He's paler and anytime he gets a mosquito bite, it lasts for weeks. I put things on it, it lasts for weeks. Every kid stays is gone, right? He's had this rash around his mouth for 5 weeks. We brought him to doctors to get it done. We put all kinds of topicals. We're like, tip treatment, trying to get rid of it. Any kind of, you just tested for allergy. It does have a little allergy to dairy and pineapple, but there's no major allergens, but other than pineapple, but so he gets, and he does this, right, every week he's congestion almost, right? Whereas the other kids will get a cold and it's gone. They'll have it for like weeks of congestion. So I think, everybody, autism is like the Wild West with everybody shooting off their theories about this and that, so I'll shoot up mine too. I mean, I think it's a genetic condition, I really do. And I think just like Down syndrome and other things, older mothers are more sensible to it, and the research started to show that. But I think maybe it's triggered by certain environmental conditions. Right before he manifested the autism symptoms, in May of last year, we had what we believe was a swine flu. It was hitting in Bonita Springs, and we knew some kids from the Bonita Springs school that were playing with my kids, and they said, oh, we just had this like flu. Well, it hit us really hard. And I should have gotten, later, my doctor's like, oh, it's probably swine flu. We didn't actually take a culture and send it into the CDC, which we probably should have done, but it was really a horrible, horrible thing. And I wonder sometimes if that didn't, because after that, it was the summer when that really hit. So I don't know. It's all these theories, no one really knows, but it's really, it's a devastating condition, but there's hope. And I really have seen a difference in him since we started with Dr. Gelfi. I mean, a tremendous difference. The kids would just sit down and wouldn't do anything. The line of toys, he almost never lines up toys down. We've seen that much difference. He wouldn't say anything. That's the weird babble. He's starting to talk now. Some days he'll, like with those cards, he will say every word some days. But other days it's a struggle. It's almost like they're stroke victims, okay? It's like you'll show them cat. Oh, you know cat, okay? Then all of a sudden the next day he'll be like cat, cat, cat. And then if you've done therapy with autism kids, it's just sometimes it's like a roller coaster. And sometimes they come for it, and it's comfort, but other times it's just a back and forth. And other times he does tend to pull hair. We've seen, he may be creating an obstacle course. What he does is he'll go into a room and he'll actually create an obstacle course in his mind where he'll like, okay, I'm doing 5 steps forward, 2 steps here, clap, right? So he may be doing that, and he'll kind of look at the room and then create. It's very creative, I guess, but it's rather audio. And then, yeah, this week, I have it on the table. I just brought that. I'll send you. I showed him a fish, and he said fish. He took it and ran to the fish tank and tried to put it in, and he said, fish, fish. And I have it on tape, so I thought, this is cute. I got it on my camera. So he's starting to think now, higher level. And one thing that replaced the lining up, which I believe, I think occupational therapy is so important to these kids, is, Tina gave me all these things, Dr. Gelfi, all these things to do with him, getting him really athletic, And as soon as we increased his physical activity and stretching and bouncing and all kinds of, piggyback, he lost interest in lining up, in the compulsive lining up, and he started to climb everything. He climbs all the furniture house, he climbs all the bookcases, he becomes an expert. He's very interested in physical. It was like he turned on a switch in his life, and he started, and I do believe there's a connection to verbal with them getting active physically, because he started to want to speak. So, which is amazing, because he did lose his desire. He would see himself in the mirror and not even care. He'd show a mirror, which is very pretty, wouldn't even care. But now he's like so good. So, you
Does
know,
he like watching himself like when he has the older videos?
now that he's starting to look at those. We have story videos, like kid story videos, like VeggieTales and things like that. I'm familiar with that. He would never follow the storylines on them. Thomas the Train didn't want to do. Now he'll look at them and actually watch them, and like if Thomas the Train goes off the track like he does every time, he cries. So now he's starting to have empathy, I guess. I mean, we're hoping. But before, you know, some people say like, oh, well, TV causes this. Kids watching TV, you shouldn't really show them TV before you do. We got rid of our TV years ago because I homeschool. I really believe in literacy, so I bring lots of library books home. I do have a computer where I play educational videos or fun videos for them. They do get real well-rounded with that, but I'm not the type to put them in front of videos and TVs all day, and I think that does. There was a study that did show attention deficit disorder was connected to TV watching before the age of 2. So I got interested in that study. So I already knew all that. So that was not what happened, you know, because people always, when you have a child like this, they want to give advice, they want to tell you what you guys did wrong, but we didn't do that wrong, and we eat very healthy, so I don't have food dyes and things like that. I am very into organics, and so always did my prenatal vitamin, always did my organics, but something happened. Something, I think, that's genetic happened. That the reason I think, again, this is conjecture on my part, that it maybe is genetic but triggered by something. Some people think immunization or whatever, who knows what triggers it. But there are families that have several children with autism. I have a lady with 3 kids with autism, and I meet people with kids that are on different places on the spectrum. I would never say this to my oldest son, but I do believe he shows signs of Asperger's. You know what that is? Which is high-functioning autism, where the children are extremely intellectual. He was very verbal at age 1. He was incredibly verbal. I was having a lot of trouble with him socializing with other children, whereas my daughters had no problem. He would, he would do inappropriate things or say inappropriate things. Act immature, but then when you talk to him about, like, he's really into atomic energy right now. He's 11 years old. He's like, Mom, he's getting me all the books in the library on atomic energy, so he's reading through all those, reads college-level books. I mean, it's just amazing. So, however, they have things like perfectionism, where he can never get anything wrong. And I'm not like that, where I say you have to have all your spelling words right. But, I meet other parents with Asperger's. It's almost the exact same symptoms. It's amazing. But he's a very, great with adults. He'd come here and he has no fear of adults. He'll speak in front of crowds, he'll speak in front of whatever he is. So that's my other son. So then that makes me think that maybe somehow my husband and I had a genetic propensity for this, so again, so what works to help these kids? What does the research show? Okay, and what has been my experience has been intensive occupational and verbal therapy. Because why? We think it changes the neural current connections in the brain. Okay? You have, you look at stroke victims, right, or whatever, and they lose their ability to speak, lose their ability to walk. What do they do for them? And sometimes you have just miracles happen where you have people that these people on structure where they'll never speak again. Well, the intensive therapy, somehow another part of the brain, we use very little little percentage of our brain, right? Somehow the other parts of the brain compensate for what the damage was. And I believe in these kids that it's a form of brain damage. I mean, some kind of between the brain, and it's just not the inability to speak. It's also their social behavior. How they act with other kids, how they act with other people. So, anyway, do you have any questions? Because I'm just a mother, I'm not an expert, but that's just my opinion on everything.